Welcome back to the tracker here on Citi TV. I'm sure you enjoyed that motivational video. It's time to introduce you to my guest for the day. Abdul Mumin Suleiman plays his football for Vitoria Guimaraes in the Portuguese First Division. Mumin, it's good to have you on the tracker.
Thank you. I appreciate the invite.
Nice. Let's start off the conversation from your origins and your birthplace. I picked up that you were born in Nigeria. Now I find that a little curious. Tell me about that. I mean, being born in Nigeria, how much time you spent there, and how that even came to be in the first place.
And so actually, like my dad is Nigerian and my mom is Ghanaian, and then half of my family were born in Nigeria and then half were born in Ghana. I come from a family of 8.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Tell me about what state in Nigeria you were born in, and at what point did your family take the decision to move to Ghana?
I actually didn't grow up in Nigeria. I was like, I think like 4 months old. Oh. So really, you can say I'm not Nigerian still, but I take it like I'm Nigerian because I was born in Nigeria, innit? So.
What state was this?
In Lagos.
Oh, Lagos State.
Yes.
Nice one. Nice one. Now, I mean, coming to Ghana, where did you settle? I mean, as a family, where did your football beginnings start from? And was it even always an interest for you from a young age?
Yeah, growing up. So when we moved to Ghana, all my family, we moved to. My mom is from Konongo. That's where her family is from. But we moved to a small place in Kumasi called Sawaba. It's a very small town. Okay. And then when it comes to sports and football, growing up, all my senior brothers, I have 2 senior brothers and a senior sister. All my senior brothers were involved in football. So I think that's where I had you can say the passion, or where I started playing football, because my senior brothers played football and I was always with them. So usually I always join. So that's where the passion came from, I think.
I mean, Did you ever feel pressure to live up to what they were doing? Or, I mean, in the beginning, it was all passion for you. Did you always think that this was something that could go professional, or it was just play around, my brothers play, I think it looks good, I just want to play too?
Nah, in the beginning, it was just for fun, because, like any younger kid will want to do a lot of stuff with his senior brother because they look up to them, So at the beginning, it was for fun, and almost like all my friends in Sawaba also played football. Mm-hmm. But it got to a certain point that a lot of my friends and my senior brothers were saying that I could really take this to like another level if I really focus on it. And then in Sawaba, we had one guy called, I don't know if you know, he's called Kamal Issa. He played for Liberty.
I've heard the name. Name is very familiar.
Yeah, he was like when I was starting, he was like one of my role models, and I quite remember some of my friends too. That was their role models too, because he played in a local team there, and then he signed for Liberty, and then he signed in France. So everybody wanted to emulate the same process, go and then play for a local team, and maybe sign for one of the Ghanaian league teams, and then when they are able to do it, they can go and play abroad. So it was the same thing. We all wanted to copy the same process. So that's where the motivation came from. And
I mean, I know that a lot of times, for instance, the folks listening to you in Sawaba right now will be proud to see you, because I mean, a small suburb like that does not necessarily produce players who get to the level that you've arrived at. Can you tell me about schooling in Sawaba at the time, and did you play any school sports at that time?
My parents weren't very keen on me playing football, because they felt that it was a distraction for me with my education. So usually I didn't really participate in sports in all the schools that I went to. I played like a local team, so I was always like going to training after training.
Oh, so you played for a coach club?
Yeah, I played for a coach club called Celtic.
Okay. At what age was this? What age did you start playing for Celtic?
I think like I was around 10.
Wow.
Or maybe 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, obviously, you're telling me that mom and dad were not too keen on their son pursuing sports. At what point did that mindset change?
I think like it fully changed when I was about to join the Right to Dream Academy.
Okay.
And I think the only reason that really changed their mind was because Right to Dream was also like it was both school and football, so it was together. So it wasn't like a one separate thing where you focus on only football, but you combine school and football. So they felt like it was a good idea. And then if I'm really good at football, then with the help from that I'll get from Right to Dream, combining these two, then I'll probably be someone important in the future. That's where I think maybe your mind started to change a little bit.
Now, when I joined this journalism profession, I went to Right to Dream, like 6 years ago? I'm not sure if that's the time you were at Right to Dream, but I met a young guy called Clinton Entry. He and I have been. Clinton is your mate from Right to Dream.
Yeah, we come from the same generation.
Interesting stuff there. Now, I know that the selection criteria is very, very stringent, and Right to Dream literally accepts only the best. Tell me about your journey up until you made it to Right to Dream. How did it happen? How did they spot you? How did you eventually appear at the Right to Dream campus or the academy for the first time?
So they came to Sawaba, and then we played like a mini tournament where they picked players, and then my team, my local team, which was Celtic, went to that tournament. So we played there, and then they chose two players from Celtic. It was myself and one guy called Mohammed. And then afterwards, I think it was like 2 weeks after that, we went to Kesben, and then we did like a 2 weeks camping over there with training, and then we played I think 2 matches. And then during that time, we had like a lot of players from other areas. So Clinton was also actually there. There was one guy called Seth, and a couple of other people. And then we had like players also from the northern region that came. I remember one guy called Shamsi, who is in the US right now. He also signed for, he was also accepted in Right to Dream. And then Xavier, who is in the US also right now in the university. So we had like players from all other regions in Ghana, and they came to Kelvin, and we were there for I think 2 weeks. And then lastly, we went to Right to Dream. They picked some players. And
I mean, now that we've cleared the Right to Dream bit, tell me about some of your most memorable Right to Dream moments. I know that it's like you just said in your submission, it's more than just a football academy. It's an educational institution as well. What are some of your most standout moments from your time at Right to Dream? It could be football, it could be non-football, but when you think back to your time with Tom Vernon, Coach Fraser, and the likes, what are some of the memories that you remember the most?
I think for sure one of the things that I really miss about Right to Dream was actually, I know like it's a minor thing. A lot of people would think that I'll say about something else, but it was actually the atmosphere in the classroom. When I was like with all my friends, it was so fun, to be honest. Like we had like a really good chemistry among all the friends that I had in Right to Dream and my classmates, and that's one of the things I really miss most about Right to Dream. It was the atmosphere in the classroom. It was really fun.
I mean,
we used to be kind of teachers, and it was so nice, really. Like respectfully though.
Yeah. I mean, I've been to Right to Dream before. When you talk about the atmosphere, I perfectly understand. For those who haven't gone to Right to Dream, I would just entreat them to visit the place. They will understand fully exactly what you're talking about. Let's now talk about leaving Right to Dream, right? I know that a lot of you out there aspire to move on to the professional level. Some don't get to move on, but will probably end up in one university or the other and be in one capacity or the other. But tell me about leaving the academy. I mean, at what point do you know that your talent is good enough to make it to the professional level? And what is the entire process of transitioning out of Ghana like? I mean, especially to a place like Denmark and then onward to Netherlands.
And I think like it's a really long process. So for example, myself, I like when you come to Right to Dream, they assess you and they help you to know your strengths and your weakness, in able to work on those stuff. And for myself, And I signed for Northern when I was 18. But prior to that, like we used to usually go on tours, play with other academies. We went on tour in the UK, in Sweden, in like all these other countries. So during this tour, you are able to meet other players who are the same age as you, who play, or like let's say, for example, like a top club like Chelsea, they play for the academy side. So you are able to compare your abilities with them, and then know what standard you are at, and then stuff that you need to work on. And then sometimes it's a motivation too when you see other players and you see yourself and you see that, probably like maybe I'm doing well than this guy, or maybe if I'm able to improve on this, I can be at the same level as this guy who play for, let's say, Chelsea. So it's easy to assess yourself and know whether you are capable. And then I think like other players are different. Some people shine when they are their abilities start to shine or come out when they are like 18. Others shine when they are 17. So there's no like one process that you need to follow. It's different with everybody. And for me, for example, I signed for Northern when I was 18, and then I was with the academy side for a while, and then I got my debut. I think like 3 weeks when I signed with them. So yeah, it's different for everybody. And I was there for like 4 years.
Just before we move the conversation fully to Europe, I mean, in your opinion, at the time of leaving Right to Dream, who was the most talented player at the academy?
At the academy?
Yeah. Who was the most talented player at the academy at the time? I mean, from your generation of players that were there when you were ready to graduate out or leave, which guy did you people look at and say, wow, this guy is like the big guy, even though, I mean, clearly all of you are talented?
Yeah, I think it's hard, to be honest. It's hard. We have there are some top talents that came out of Right to Dream in my generation and like the generation beneath me, because I think in my generation I was one of the few players that left late, because I'm 98, so I'm from the same generation as I don't know if you know them, Collins, Tano, and it's and those are some ballers, because they even signed for Man City too. And I left late, so I was able to see the generation below me too, like Kudus Mohammed, Kamal Dean, who is shining very now, Abu Sadiq, Ibrahim Sadiq.
Yeah.
So and I can't really pinpoint.
Those are some good names. Those are some good names right there. Now, I mean, I know that when you were at Northern, you had a standout period there. You were there for like 3 or 4 years. I mean, reading about your background, there's a bit that says that you were looking for a new challenge. Now, there were quite a number of clubs that wanted your services. Why did you settle on Portugal, and why did you settle on Vitoria Guimaraes?
And firstly, like I think in order for any player to reach to the highest level that they aspire to be, or to reach to their maximum of like fullest potential, they need to have like a really good team around them and good people around them. And then for myself, I have people like Sian and Mike, and then a couple of other people around me that are able to support me with good advices, because they've been in the game for a long time. And for myself too, I look to, I'm not a guy that get comfortable easily. I always want to challenge myself and improve in all aspects of my game. And I settled with Portugal and Guimaraes because I felt it was the wisest step, or the smartest step to take. Because there were other options that I could have taken, which were like a lot. People would say it's a bigger step compared to Portugal, but I felt like this was the step that I needed, because I'm a young guy and I need games, week in, week out, in order to improve on the mistake that I do usually in a game, in order to reach to the next level. So, yeah, I felt this was myself and my team around me felt that this was the best place for me to be, the best step for me to take.
Tell me about being there with guys like Amoa and Al-Hassan Wakaso. Now there's Gideon Mensah as well. There's like 5 of you over there. You have literally established a mini Ghanaian colony in Portugal. How's that like, and What does it feel like to be able to bond with your Ghanaian brothers on that level in a strange place, or should I say in a foreign land like Portugal?
Yeah, I mean, like it's amazing. I think it's very nice because it's not easy to live abroad when you are alone. You understand? And it's very nice to have like people that that you come from the same culture or are familiar with, to do certain things with. So it's very nice to have like Gideon, Wakaso, and then Amwan around us and for example Wakaso and Amwan, they've been here for a long time, so they can give you a constructive feedback and stuff that you need to do and not to do in order to thrive over here. So it's really nice. And then with Gideon too, is that we kind of have the same mindset and same goals, you can say. So it's nice to have people like this around you, so they always keep you focused, and at the same time too, you also enjoy your time because you have people around you that are like family, because we come from the same country and do the same things, really.
I mean, talking about doing the same things, I know that you and Gideon are exceptionally close, almost like brothers, but do you hang out with the rest of the guys? Like, do you guys all get together at certain times and do certain activities, go out for lunch or anything of that sort, like the rest of the Ghanaian crew?
Yeah, we usually do that, and especially with COVID like this, and we've been in lockdown for quite a while, and usually we go to dinners together, just in order to have people around, because it's not easy just to live on your own and then stay in the room for a long time. So it's good to have this social, gatherings. Not, like, you do that and then you respect the rules too, not to break any rules, of course. But yeah, we do that sometimes, in order to make sure that everybody's in the right space, mentally. Yeah.
Talking about being in the right space mentally, it's been hard for literally everybody around the globe in the last 18 months or so because of COVID-19. Now, you talk about bonding with your brothers and all that. How have you managed this period? Because I'm guessing that now you cannot go out as much to do what you'd have typically done if we were in normal times. For instance, do you cook yourself? And if you do, what meals do you cook? What are you good at cooking?
Oh, yeah, cooking, yeah, Charlie. Yeah, I try. I would say like I'm a top chef, but I try.
You sound like you've been burning the pans in your house.
Oh, Charlie, I did try. But like, for example, Wakaso is a sweet guy, and then Amo too, bro. They are like some special guys, sweet guys. Yeah, so Wakaso has a family here. And then usually sometimes they cook and then they bring like packages for us.
Oh.
And Amor too is a top chef, like one of the best people, like guys that I know that can cook. So sometimes he also cook and bring packages. If not, we also try and do some rice water, be small. You know,
That's amazing. But I mean, what's your favorite Ghanaian food to eat though?
Oh, I'm a Kumasi guy, so fufu and then palm nut soup.
Hey, this man. That's interesting. That's interesting. Let's talk about development in your game, because that's definitely why you came to Guimaraes, right? In terms of building up your game to the next level, you are getting a lot of playing time as a standsman. You're literally playing week in, week out. What aspects of your game are you yourself keen on improving, and why?
So I think for me personally, it will be more about the tactical side of the game, and the understanding of the tactical side of the game too. Because I feel like my style of play is like I'm a technical player. I'm good on the ball and strong and quick. I run and all that. But these days the game is really improving, and the tactical side is also developing. So I feel like my tactical side of the game needs to improve, which I feel like I've improved too, and there's still room for improvement. So yeah, I'm improving on that. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Talk to me about football mentors, right? Like, is there anybody you grew up modeling your game around when you were coming up? Say that I like this guy's game and I probably want to emulate this style of play. Who are like your football idols that you've built your game around?
And to be honest, like when I was a right to dream, and I always looked up to Jonathan Mensah growing up.
Your games are actually kind of similar, if I'm to be honest.
Is it?
Yeah, you have the same feel, not exactly the same, but the two of you have the same feel about the way you play.
That's a big compliment. Thank you. Yeah, but when I was growing up, I really looked up to him, Jonathan Mensah. I remember there was a time he was even at Right to Dream. Yeah, I don't think he will remember me, but we spoke a little bit, and I tried to get some advice from him. But for me too, like I really don't like pick one single player to look at, because I feel like everybody is good, you know, and I feel like you can really learn. Even if it's just the way someone passed the ball, you can learn it from everybody. So I usually like look at every game, every player, and then I try to pick the positive side of the game, you know, just to help myself. So I don't really have one player that I look up to. I would say I look up every player.
Interesting. Now, as far as clubs are concerned, I know that your allegiance is to Vitoria Guimaraes, and sometimes it is almost deemed unprofessional to talk about other teams, but every player has a dream team that they like, or every player has a dream league that they like. If you were to pick, say, a dream team or a team that you support personally and a dream league that you would want to play in, who would that team be, or what would that team be, and what league would that be?
And I don't have like to be honest, I don't really have like a dream team. But I think like every player really look up to playing in the Premier League. I think every player aspires to play in the Premier League one day. So that's really my dream, one day to play in the Premier League. Of course, there are steps to be taken, you know, before that. So yeah.
Let's talk about the national team. Now, I did a little list on my Twitter a couple of days ago where I said to myself that the World Cup qualifiers are coming. How do you feel about your chances of making it into a Black Stars team that has centre backs like Jonathan Mensah, you mentioned, John Boy on good form, Mohamed Salisu on good form, Kasim Nuhu Adams? It's literally our most stacked position at the national team. How do you feel about your chances of breaking into Ghana's centre back places, or breaking into even the national team generally?
Me personally, the way my mindset is like, I don't really focus on the national team that much, to be honest. You know, I just keep my focus on the aspects that I need to improve. Because if I look at my development like 2-3 years ago, nobody was really talking about me, you know. And then I just focused on my development, and now people are talking about me. So I don't really look at the national team. Of course, every player from Ghana, it will be a dream come true for them to represent their country, 100%. But for me, my focus is to really develop my game to the next level, to reach the next level in my potential, or you understand, or my development. So I really focus on stuff that I need to improve, and I feel like if the time is right, and and they call me, of course, it will be my pleasure. It will be an honor to represent my country. But at the moment, I'm just focused on my development and all aspects of my game I need to improve in order to, you know, take the next step or then reach the next level, really.
Now, but I'm sure that you still watch national team matches, don't you?
Of course, yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of young players in the squad now. Kamaldeen has made his debut. Mohamed Kudus has scored twice already for the Black Stars. When you look at these guys that you used to play with, you used to watch making with the national team, how do you feel about the future of the Black Stars generally, especially based on the young core that are currently coming up?
Yeah, I think so. With the guys you mentioned that I'm familiar with, like Kudus, Mohamed, Kamaldeen, all those people are like a big motivation, you know, because I remember like I used to play with them, and now they are playing for the national team. This tells me that it's not really far away if I'm able to push myself and, you know, continue to have the right mindset, because they've been able to do it. So it means that I can also do it. And then with the setup of being with young players being called up, I also think it's good, because when you even look at the game right now, a lot of the players that are dominating the game are also quite young. Mbappe, you know, Haaland, and these small guys, you know, they are young, but at the same time, they play the game at a certain, like at a peak level, at a high level. So, yeah, I think it's good. But at the same time, too, we need really experienced players around us, you know, just to teach us certain things that we can see. You understand? Like if a small boy and an old guy is standing on a mountain, sorry. I'm gonna say there's a proverb that says that what an old man will see standing down, a small
Sitting
boy
down, yeah.
wouldn't see when he's on the mountain. Yeah. So of course we need experienced players around us to also, tell us the small details that we miss in the game. But it's good that players are also getting the chance for sure.
I mean, talking about experienced players to look up to and lead you, I'm not sure if your stay at Northern coincided with the arrival of Michael Essien a bit.
No,
it didn't. I mean, how do you feel about that though? Now he's like back at Northern, player development coach of some sorts. How do you feel about his presence in a place like that? I mean, for a legend like that to come back and help out somewhere that you left just not too long ago.
I mean, I think it will definitely help. And Michael Essien is a legend. He's a legend. So, of course, he knows certain parts of the game that we don't know. And for example, FC Northern too is there are like a lot of young guys there. And even if you look at their results now, they didn't really start well, but now they are doing very well. So you can say it's quite like the effect of people like Michael Essien, with the information that they give the young players over there. So, yeah, I think it would have been nice if I was there. But at the same time, too, I think it's really great that he's there helping the young guys, Yeah.
So we are taking a quick break here on the tracker. We are speaking to Abdul Mumin Suleiman, plays his football for Vitoria Guimaraes in Portugal. Welcome back to the tracker here on Citi TV. We are speaking to Vitoria Guimaraes centre-back Abdul Mumin Suleiman. I nearly said Gideon Mensah. He and Gideon Mensah hang out too much. Abdul.
Yes.
Yes, good to have you back. Let's talk about something I found really interesting. Now, I dug up that before you signed with your agent, Sian, you literally went through an interview process almost as if you were about to sign for a corporate job. Talk to me about that. What was that all about?
I don't know what to say, to be honest. Yeah, but Sian is like family now. Of course, like before I signed with Sian, I had an agent because like Right to Dream had like an agency. I don't know how to say it, but like when I was at Right to Dream, I had an agent called Phil, and then he used to work for Right to Dream, and then he used to help the players, transition into the professional area, you understand? So because I was a young guy and then he was close with Right to Dream, so you just kind of like sign with him, and then he helped you transition into the professional environment. Yeah, so when my contract with him was done, then I signed with Sian. I mean, super nice guy. Yeah.
Do you find that situation a little weird because very few agents want to interview a player, find out his interests off the field, weaknesses, stuff like that? I mean, how did you view that entire process? Because I'm not sure that's the process that everybody else goes through.
Personally, I think I understand the process really, because like with these days, there's a lot of misplaced loyalty in the game of football. You understand? Like a lot of people don't work with principles. It's all about the outcome, really. So I understood all the processes that I went through, and then it quite told me that this is the kind of person that I want to be in this game with, because you can't really trust anybody in this game. There's just a few people you can trust, few people that just work on principles and not just on any other outcome. So all the processes that I went through, it told me more about the kind of person that he is, So yeah, I understood it, and then it kind of also made me sure of choosing him to represent me, because I wanted to be represent the kind of way that he was portraying.
I mean, is that like something that you picked up while in your days at the academy? Because, for instance, I look at players that have transitioned out of Right to Dream, and most of them have transitioned, I mean, fairly properly into the next one, and they don't seem to have the problems that other players have. Is this something that is taught at the academy? You know that, like you said, it's education and football there. Do they start prepping you at Right to Dream for, let's say, life when you leave the academy, in terms of how to deal with contracts, how to deal with agents? Is that something they teach over there?
Yeah, they do that. They try their best to give you as much information as they can, but you can't really give all the informations out there, because certain things are on and there are certain uncertainties that can happen. So they try to educate you on certain stuff that you need to be aware of in the professional environment, but at the same time they can't really educate you on everything. So yeah.
I mean, from the little you've learned from that path, right, to dream through Sian, now to the professional level, if you had to give advice to younger, up-and-coming, talented individuals who have their eyes set on going professional, what exactly would you be telling them?
I'm a religious guy, so obviously I'll say God first, in everything that you do, put God first. And secondly, I'll say you should have like a really good team around you. And then thirdly, and which is very important too, is that you should work hard. And then most of the time you control what you can control. You understand? Which is the effort that you give day in, day out, your hard work, your concentration level, and then you leave the rest to God.
Talk about leaving the rest to God. This is a sacred month or a sacred period for you Muslims and all your Islam brothers around the world. What is it like, or what are some of the challenges that, for instance, come with Ramadan period and having to train and having to play football? Talk to me about some of the challenges that you probably experience.
So me, for example, I've been in Europe quite a while now. So of course I'm familiar with all the stuff. But usually it's really hard to fast during the match days. So that day there we can't fast. We usually don't fast. And then with trainings too, it depends too on the team really. Some teams, like, they respect your religious side, innit? So they respect that, and they allow you to fast during training times, especially when the training is not really tough. There are some days that you don't really run a lot. It's more about the tactical side and positioning. And there are days that you really run a lot. So those days that you run a lot, it will be hard to fast. But sometimes you can go through it, but I would say like it's not advisable on days that the training is really hard and on match days, because you want to give 100% for the team. So
now, tell me about the team itself. I mean, does the team make special provisions for you, the Muslim players, during the period of Ramadan? Do you get exceptions from training? Do you get your meals provided at different times? Tell me about how the team itself plans around the period of Ramadan.
Yeah, I think like with trainings, they plan it in a way that they understand that you are fasting. So it's more about your positioning and your understanding. For example, if there's a game coming up, your positioning and how the opponents play and things that you need to do. So it's not more physical, because they understand that you'll be physically you are deprived because you are fasting. So there's a lot of energy in that. So yeah, usually they program the training schedule in a way that fits you. But of course, they also need to make sure that you are ready for the game too. So yeah.
Now, one of the most pronounced football Ramadan moments, especially for us Ghanaians, was when Muntari was playing for Inter Milan. I remember at a point he was hooked off by Jose Mourinho at 45 minutes because it looked like he was gassed out. I mean, during your time in Europe or even playing football, has there ever been a time where you were fasting and at a point you felt like, you know what, they need to give me some rest because I'm really running out of steam? Has there ever been any peculiar period with you and playing football in Ramadan?
No, they haven't. Because usually on match days I don't fast. So yeah, I don't know if that's a weakness or a strength, but usually I don't fast on match days. So. But on during training time, the other times there I fast, and then I'm usually okay with everything that happens during the day.
Now, talking about this entire Right to Dream Ramadan period, talk to me a little bit about Kudus Mohammed, right? A few years your junior at the academy. Were you close back then? Did you always look at him as somebody who was talented, and did you think that he would be at Ajax doing what he's doing now?
Yeah. we weren't like, I knew him, of course. We were together in Right to Dream, but I think we grew up like very tight during our time at FC Northern, and yeah, everybody knew that he was special, with the way that he played. And for me, I'll talk about his mentality. I think it's different from other players that I've met. He's very focused and very connected to the game. He's always thinking about the game and ways that he can improve. So yeah, I think his mentality is what has brought him this far. If you are really close to him, the people that are close to him will understand what I'm saying. Yeah.
Talking about mentality bringing them this far, Majid Waris and David Akama are also prominent guys that came through the Right to Dream system. Have you ever bumped into the two of them anywhere? I mean, at the academy, around? Do you ever get in touch with such old graduates from the academy?
Nah, I met them a couple of times when they were at Right to Dream, when they came to visit. But I didn't have like a one-to-one time with them, just to speak to them personally. Usually I'm around when they come, and then we usually talk to them in groups. So I didn't really have like a moment with them, but yeah, I've seen them around for sure.
Interesting thoughts there. Let's talk about some random football stuff. Let me pick your random football brain and see what you are like. Let's talk about a debate that is consistently raging, and choices, right? Favorite footballers. If you had to pick between a Lionel Messi or a Cristiano Ronaldo for your team, who would be your preferred choice and why?
Gideon. I'll go for.
You look like you don't want to offend one of them.
Yeah, because I think they are, two of them are two special players. Like one, Cristiano Ronaldo, purely hard work, of course, combined with talent. And then if you look at Messi, he's special, talented, super talented. That doesn't mean that he doesn't work hard though. Mm-hmm. But we know Cristiano Ronaldo for his hard work and consistency and the consistency of his effort in the game, with his talent. But with Cristiano and with Lionel Messi, we know that he's super, super, super talented. And of course, he works hard though, but we don't know him from that aspect. You understand?
So you're definitely a Ronaldo person.
Yeah, I'll say, because I'm not.
Why though? Yeah. Why Ronaldo? You talked about hard work, everything. What exactly appeals to you about Ronaldo that makes you think that, nah, he's definitely my guy? What exactly about him?
Because I feel like I'm not super, super talented to the level of like Cristiano, to the level of Lionel Messi. So it's quite easy for me to, follow the process that Ronaldo did, because it consists of a lot of hard work, a lot of determination, looking at things that you need to do now in order to, get the end product. Because if you don't do them now, then there's no way you will get them, because you don't have any other stuff to rely on except hard work and determination.
That's some good stuff there. Now, talking about Cristiano Ronaldo just reminded me that you actually play with Ricardo Quaresma. Now, those were some of the biggest names coming up. First of all, how is Quaresma like around Guimaraes? Like, what is he like to be around?
Sweet guy. And he's actually very humble too, and you can easily talk to him, and you can easily ask for advice, on the game and how he sees the game, and stuff like. He's a calm guy, sweet guy.
Interesting. Now, has he ever taken you under his wing to ever give you a few pointers, or he's just a regular guy who doesn't even like to be like the veteran guy doling out advice? How would you describe your relationship with him?
Yeah, it's like just like I said, it's like an experienced player versus a young player. Usually when we train and then you do something wrong, because he's an attacker and I'm a defender. So most of the time we play against each other. Of course he wouldn't give you all the tips, because if he gives you all the tips, then you win the race. But of course he gives you tips that you can improve on, defending skillful players like him. And then,
Interesting. Now, talk about coaches. I know that your own coach at Guimaraes is definitely one of your favorites, but do you have any coach that you admire around the global game and why?
I think, it will be Pep Guardiola because of how his team usually play. All the teams that he's coached, I like the playing style. I think if I'll fit in that team perfectly because they play from the back and most of the time they gain most of the possession in the game, which help them to create whatever they want to do in the game. So yeah, Pep Guardiola for sure.
Talk to me a little bit about, Ghana, right? You grew up in Kumasi, you grew up in Sawaba. Do you have a favorite Ghanaian club that you support?
And when I was growing up, it was Liberty.
Oh, why?
Mainly because of Kamal Lisa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so me and my friends, a lot of my friends, we supported Liberty because all that we could see was signing for Liberty, and then from Liberty we can get a chance to go play abroad. Yeah.
Do you one day intend to sign for Liberty if you have a chance?
I don't know what the future holds, but of course every player want to come back home for sure. So yeah.
Now, talking about Liberty professionals, did you have you've spoken about Kamal Issa once, but when you think about the Ghana Premier League, right? I'm not sure you watch a lot of Ghana Premier League matches, but I'm sure you followed the league back in the day. Did you have a favorite player back then?
Nah, I didn't.
You didn't?
No. Apart from Kamal Issa,
Kamal was the idol.
Yeah, he was the one. So, yeah, apart from him, I didn't really have nah.
Interesting. Do you have any favorite Black Stars games that you watched? Any games that gave you goosebumps? Any games that excited you back in the day? Any memorable Ghana games that stick with you?
I think every kid will talk about the World Cup that they went to.
Which one is this?
Yeah.
Which of the World Cups? 2014, 2010?
Yeah, I think it was
2010.
Yeah.
What was the standout phenomenon from that competition? Was it the players for you? Was it just the awe of seeing Ghana at the competition?
I think it was combined, the players and all of.
What you were at right team at the time, if I'm right.
Nah, I was home at that time.
You hadn't yet gone to the academy?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Nah, I went to the academy late in 2010. So I was home that time.
What were your pickups? Clearly you would have wanted to be somebody who wanted to play at the World Cup, but you hadn't gone professional then, so I'm sure it was pretty far-fetched for you at that point. But what were some of the memories that stuck with you from that World Cup?
And I think it was all of it, to be honest, because most of the time, when I watched the game, it was with my friends, and then we talked about, Charlie, it was just talks that we did.
Yeah.
But I think it was the overall, we were super, super, super inspired and motivated, And then I quite remember my friend telling me that even if we are not able to get to this level, and we get to, let's say, 2 levels beneath this, it would be nice, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Interesting. Let's talk about a few of your off-field interests. Now, I've seen a picture where you and Gideon are seriously playing video games. That looks like the travel pack for the PlayStation, probably meaning that you will take your gaming console literally everywhere you go. Talk to me about that. Where did that interest start from, the interest in gaming start from, and what are your favorite games to play?
And the interest started, most of the time when you're at camp, everybody likes to play FIFA. So I remember even before I went to the academy, we used to play PES back in the days, PES 08 and the game. So I think it started from there. And then it was kind of a way to socialize with other players too. Because most of the time it's like a common ground that you find that everybody is interested in. So you can start from there, in order to get to know other players. And then the games that I play is NBA, and then Call of Duty. I play Call of Duty a lot, and then FIFA. But Gideon play FIFA a lot, and he's good, really good.
I should probably invite you to my NBA internet stream some time ago, so I can see how good your skills are. I'm pretty decent. Yeah. I'm pretty decent at FIFA, but my NBA skills are better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We should play. We should play online soon.
I'll definitely hook you up. Talk to me about Gideon, though. I mean, now he's going back to Red Bull. How do you feel about that? I mean, that's like a brother to you, somebody who you've bonded with from as far back as I can remember. You both have had a really good time together as teammates. How does that decision hit you when you think about it?
I think like the experience this year that I've had with him has been really special to me, because for example, we play in the same team, and then we play in the same corner, you can say, if you cut the pitch, you understand? Left center back and he's the left back. So we've created this really unique connection between myself and him. If I had the chance, I would have liked us to play in the same team till maybe we retire, because we have a good connection. But at the same time, I understand that like every man is on his journey. You understand? I want good for my brother, so whatever is good for him is also it's sweet for me. So yeah.
I mean, finally, before we go, Ramadan, COVID, football, all happening. When you are not playing, right? You're not playing, and you're not praying. What are you doing?
I like to read, so I read a lot of books, and then I read a lot of books, and then apart from that, I'm on the game most of the time, and then I'm on the phone with my family and my friends.
I'm sure the people of Sawaba are watching you. Like I said at the beginning of the interview, I want you to send them a little message, preferably in Hausa if you can do that. Just let them know that, I mean, Abdul Mumin is out there, and Abdul Mumin still cares about the community that bred him and raised him.
Oh, hey, Gideon. Mutani Sawaba, actually, in Sawaba they call me Alaji.
Oh, okay.
So, Alaji ni kunsan kuna dubana Nuruddin Mahmuda Kuduka Challenge. Keep hard. Ramadan Karim the Koa. My whole children but Charlie, they know the love already.
Abdul, it's been absolutely fantastic speaking to you. Hopefully, we can link up some other time. Thank you very much for doing this with us.
Thank you very much for the invite. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Lord. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So you heard Abdul Mumin Suleiman getting to us all the way from Portugal, places football for Vitoria Guimaraes. And that's it from us here on the tracker on Citi TV. Same time next week, we'll be back on your screens.